All right, this is gonna be another spoken by a millennial moment. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna go over really how the conversation should be had with our daughters about relationships, and to start putting in their mind of how to get past being a girlfriend. And we have to teach our women, and I'm gonna say this from a perspective of me. I've dated mostly black women. I'm soon to be marrying a black woman, and she came with a daughter on the table, which is a little black girl. And we really make sure to put in their mind that men are not looking for you for your money. Men that are at a capacity that most women would respect as a provider on a husband level, the money they have, your money does your money won't matter to them. Your degree, what money, where you are socioeconomically, all of it won't matter. We need to make sure to teach our little girls that you need to be loyal and liberating, attractive and appealing, disciplined and discerning, fit, feminine, cooperative, and teach them what submissive means. Submissive means to just agree. It doesn't mean, because a lot of women feel uh, will sit around and think submitting is losing. As in, they had the leverage, and the only thing that of stories of men and women where they were submission was the woman was submitting to the man because the man would, if you didn't do what the man said, he'd kick you out of the goddamn house, and and that's the main reason of why women, the feminist movement pushed for women to be independent, and it wasn't supposed to be being independent of man and men. It was to have your own independence and to have your own sort of leverage on the table to a point, not to just have it there to always have it there. Of the leverage of, if we don't work out, I'm going to be good already. Like, it doesn't matter. So, as a black woman, tell you, act like I'm speaking to someone, my little daughter that I would have this speech with one day. Let's just go back with history and tell you, between uh, black men and black women, they were married 87 to 90% during segregation, during Jim Crow era, and during slavery. Because at the end of the day, we felt like we needed each other. Like, if you was a black woman it, before 1940s and you lived alone, you, you were in a dangerous predicament every day, every night. Because you would have, something would have happened where you'd have went to the police talking about some white man raped you. They'd have looked at you crazy. Girl, nigga, if you don't get the hell out of my damn office and bring back something more important, it would have been that bad. Uh, Black guy living home alone by himself. We know what they do with whole black families with the KKK during those times of in the early 20s. Even when your whole family was home, they come to your door, knocked on your door, and told you, "Come outside so we can kill y'all, or we're gonna burn down your house down." They did it to Malcolm X, uh, James Baldwin, Martin Luther King. If they did it to big names like that, y'all really, y'all gotta realize how much terror was being put upon black people. But then we get to the 50s and 60s, the so to say the turnaround time of why where black women and black men um, marriage rates started plummeting, and the black community ended up being destroyed. I'm gonna tell you the truth. During the 60s and 70s, they took away trades in schools. Before, you can come out of school, your granddaddies all came out of school plumbers, electricians, carpentry, uh, trades, stuff that you have to do with your hands. Because you can do a job where you need your hands and you know the job, you can make money. And it became hard. It became the politicians that took those trades out of the schooling because they saw in their lifetime, or a generation before them saw in their lifetime, that the men would graduate high school and you'd go out and go leave the town and go to college for 4 to 5, 6 years. You'd come back and the nigga that was in your class made the same, didn't go to college, but guess what? He got a 5, 6 year growing business already, and they had to stop that because people don't realize the black power base is the black family. It was families that funded the Freedom Riders, Martin Luther King. It wasn't just random people or them at all. It was the families that you could go to that had these big businesses that were pillars of communities. So when that goes out of date, the 80s come. Everyone's talking about crack babies and stuff. The 80s is during the crack and cocaine epidemic for the black community. And with that, during that time, for the young black men, it was either do the crack and realize you're never gonna be up to the standard of your woman's granddaddy whatsoever. Because most people look up to who their great people are in their family. It's like their grandfather or something. And you realize you'll never amount to what the expectations of what a black man is to this black woman, because this black woman has great black men in her family that were during the time before they took away certain privileges, and now you don't have that commodity throughout your life to be able to spread it out evenly through your life to make you a better person. And it's either sell it and bring some money to the black woman while risking her freedom, or use it because without the money I'm useless to my black counterpart. So then during the 70s and 80s, that's when welfare goes up out the roof, goes through the damn roof. And it's a real sad thing too, because it deals with the government doing certain things, but it's also, to a point, makes it the black woman's fault. Sorry to say it like that, just blatantly like that. It's the black woman's fault to a point, because at the end of the day, when welfare came in, black women immediately said, "Oh, we don't need black men. We don't need someone else in the house to take care of certain bills that we don't want to take care of, the food and the bills and rent, the main components for life, shelter, food, and electricity." And all you had to do was make sure that you had a child and that you were legally single. And the thing is, these women wouldn't look for a counterpart that was actually on a sufficient level, because after the generation of baby boomers, most women told women to be scared of men. Go be independent so you don't have to depend on a man. That sounds like from being in a place of not good faith, right? It makes it so women are afraid and think men are a danger. And make it seem like the only reason you should need a man is for his wallet and his private part. And then here come the 80s and 90s. You got welfare coming in the 70s and 80s. In the 80s and 90s, you have them pushing black men out of interviews. But then it's something black women don't realize of why they got put in corporate offices and with better jobs than a lot of black men, because they count it as a double minority. You are a woman and you're a black. You were a double token instantly to any company. We hire women and we hire black people instantly. With you, one person in the building, they can say they hire women and they hire black people just because you're in the building. And then to go into a deeper thought, it's a reason why nowadays in the black community that uh, like street dudes and the thugs and stuff, they alienate smart guys. Nowadays, most football stars are selling drugs by senior year because the clout and the popularity that comes with it, and now you know everyone that does kind of everything. You might as well just have everything, so you can just sell everything and be able to have and make everything yourself. Back then, we saw movies. We saw movies of the '80s and '90s. You was a ball player. You was in, even if you was in school, doing right in school, just because you was in school, drug dealers wouldn't deal with you. They'd be like, nigga, if you don't get your ass in school, you don't want to do this shit. You want to out? Yeah, take your ass down the street and go get. You gonna have to ask someone else for this shit. And if you do, and I catch you, I'm tell your mama myself. I don't care what I'm doing. You're not allowed to do this shit. That's how they were back then. We've seen plenty of movies like that. When the dude wanted to try to hustle, start making some money, he told him, bro, this ain't worth it, bro. This money for today that I need. You got a chance to go make some big bread that you want in your future. I don't want. To my brother was an old school guy before he got in big trouble. He was on some shit like, bro, I don't like doing this shit, bro. You think I love driving my new car, my nice car, but you think every time I hit a corner and the police end up behind me, I gotta worry about them running my tag and then running thing. Oh, foreign car, old has a past of being a drug dealer. Pull him over, call it a day, and there was a disenchantment between the street guys and the smart guys, and it made it so the street guys didn't care to give the smart guys the drugs and just make profit off of them. Is because back then in the '70s and '40s and '50s, the smart guys, it was after slavery. Once slavery went out, the dudes that were able to think for themselves and get themselves in the mindset of going up north and learning. They were supposed to go up north and learn and come back down south and teach the way of life that they had been missing out for 400 years. But that's why most of those places up north, like most of the most popularized cities like Harlem and most popularized projects of like certain big cities like Harlem and and, and stuff of that manner, they end up being the projects because that's where niggas moved up north, and then the society and government took the resources away and left black people in the void. And that's why you see even to this day. Back then it was like how it was in the movies, but nowadays all we have in black communities is some place that serves fried chicken, Asian people and Indian people buying up all the commercial buildings. So bringing it up to female and men, the disenchantment was we knew they were going to give the women the bigger chance, but due to women being biologically hardwired to look for a man that makes what she makes or more, once they gave the black woman the opportunity to get more, when they finally turned around to the black men of their community, their biological meters start going off. Oh, like it doesn't matter black, white, blue, or green, or orange, or it looks like Superman, or looks like freaking Vin Diesel. If you're not making as much what a woman is making, she's hardwired not to find any use in you because she can do that much. She brings $27,000 to the table, $40,000 to the table. You bring the 27,000, or you match her with the 44. If you match her, you match her. Then she say, all right. Then I can get used to thinking of the house as double what it has. Not that I brought someone into my house and that person only makes it so the house has 2/3 more money than it normally would have, or 1/3 more than what the house would normally have. It just wouldn't make sense to be like, I make $50,000 a year as a woman and date someone that makes $20,000 a year, and Now the house makes $70,000 a year. How's that? That doesn't compute with women to be able to say, I make more than the man of the house. Because at the end of the day, okay, let's get back to the disenchantment. They went into the workforce and they looked and biologically made it that black men weren't no use to you. That's what black women did, and they kept on the scarcity of find your independence because, and then it's just with the horror stories. Like we know all the horror stories. You ask any black women or most women about marriage and stuff, they put um, being a housewife and being treated like trash in the same conversation because they would think all housewives were treated like crap. And even Candace Owens said it. She said, "Who told us that staying home with as many children as you want to have and stay home all day and spending someone else's money was a bad idea?" And it doesn't make sense that most women would want marriage if marriage came with all these, if marriage was overall the nightmare stories. And another thing that's hard with to teach black women about is no one owes you nothing. No one owes you nothing. You know how many black women have 3 children plus, and they're in the open dating market, and they're acting like the dating market owes them? Like plenty of just on my timeline on Facebook, I have plenty of women that have 3+ children, and they're like complaining about men. Like one of them, I just went through a comment thread of arguing lame semantics with some other woman. She was like saying like, "Oh, I'm this powerful, strong woman. If you can't handle it, that's your problem." Like, and just all this BS stuff that doesn't deal with her advertising that she's fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, liberating, and loyal, appealing, attractive, disciplined, and discerning. Like, doesn't talk about that at all. It just talks about how much she's a boss and how she has all this stuff going on for her life. And here's another thing that women in general need to learn is the men that you see as a level of husband are not little. When they're little boys, they didn't dream of the dream to be able to get the money that they have, the career that they have, and then be able to, and then get some woman in their life that needs him to support her and her dreams and shit. No man is waking up and dreaming as a little boy to put their life on pause to any extent to help you from your potential. Because one thing is, women don't marry off potential, and men don't marry off potential either. That's why men don't marry off of socioeconomic status, because it's not promised with women. You can instantly get pregnant and boom, your whole career is over. Yes, it could be over because you could end up just not wanting to go back to work, or you end up in a position in life where he's been working 60, 70 hours a week, and y'all have a kid, and you're thinking he's just gonna stop his goddamn life that he's been providing for y'all. So now when a kid comes in, you want him to work less. That's not a good ROI for a man. And it's not a good ROI to be having to pay for daycares and nannies all the children's life because you have your own life that you're trying to build. That's one thing that it overall comes to is women have this whole life and independence that they're working on, and they want a man to be in a woman's position. What is a man supposed to do for you? Come and just support me. What the fuck? And what mammalian species does the woman live on her own? And it's independent from the group. None. They all die. Because the male, even from the Adam and Eve, Eve was an add-on to him. The female is supposed to be the add-on to the male. That's why the male is the success object. The woman is the sex object. Don't y'all forget about that. And then people be like, "Oh, that's misogynistic. That's the horrible way of thinking." No. Because at the end of the day, he has to be the success object. He has to be making something. No woman that has 3 kids, these women be like, oh, she has her own job, she can take care of her kids. But that woman wouldn't accept no man after 6 months to a year and him being in a position where he hasn't provided for this other child. Women have 3 children and would say, oh, I can provide for my children. But after a year, this man comes to you and says, I'm not ever looking towards and providing for these children as if they're mine. She would say, well, then there's deals off the table. You don't get me. No, the thing is, it's not about getting you. It's getting the whole package, dealing with you, your children. And women don't realize it. Women don't realize other men's children is a liability. Being a stepfather is a thankless job. And you don't get nothing out of it. We'd be together for freaking 20 years, and I even paid for your kid's school and everything. Then we get divorced. I paid for them through private school, paid for them through college. We get divorced. It would still come out that the man would be paying alimony to the damn woman. Because the courts would look at the man as, you're the success object, you shouldn't have a problem. And I would say to my daughter, if you want to be a career woman, pick that. If you want to be a wife to a successful man, you got to put yourself in a position where you already know you're a wife, because the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a better thing in life in favor of the Lord. But guess what, woman? You got to be already a wife. He finds a wife, not someone who finds someone that says, oh, I'm in the hot girl summer and I have 2 kids and my relationships haven't worked and I have bad relationship skills and I have bad relationships even with my family members and I have toxic friends. But if someone puts a ring on my finger, I'll know how to be a wife. That's how most modern women are doing. They're in the world dealing with being an employee and being a student until they're 28 years old, 28-year-old to 30 years old, and they're saying that, oh, well, when someone gives me a ring, then I'll learn how to be a wife. That's the deal that we're being dealt with. And that's the deal you as a little girl don't want to be given to another man. If you want to be a family, you want to find a high value man, guess what? He's not going to be in the goddamn club. High value men like steak. They like good food. Go to a place that has good food at it. A nice steakhouse. Because guess what? He's going to know, they ain't no riffraff in there. If they selling $50 steaks, $30 steaks. You go there every once in a while, go buy you a goddamn appetizer. Go buy you one drink and just sit in that damn place. And look around. 4 weeks go by, you'll find that one person that's single in there that goes to that damn place also. Go talk with bartenders. Go ask the bartender about the dude. Like, oh, does he come here normally? Is he a regular? That's the first thing you can ask the bartender. Are they regular? Do they ever bring anyone else out here? Ask them, yeah, they're regular, and no, they never bring anyone out here. And as girl code, you can ask the girl bartender, guess what? She's going to tell you the truth. Yeah, he brings people up in here, blah, 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 blah. You ask the male bartender, he's going to look up for his homeboy and be like, oh, nah, he don't bring no one in here, he be here all the time. So yeah, girl code works to a point for your dating situation. And then overall, a lot of places, you got to get out of your city. Because people don't realize when it comes to men, women are like, there's someone that out for everyone. No, there's not. Women outnumber men 3-1, and then they're dealing with having gay men, and then they're dealing with 20 to 30% of those other men are locked up. So it's really like a 4 to 5 women per one man. And then really when it comes to high value man, of being in the top 20%, it's like a freaking 10 to 12 women per one dude. Maybe more women, because I'm pretty sure if you go to the club, you would ask a whole bunch of all the men who make over $80,000 a year out of 300 people in the damn club. If it's in there in the top 20%, it's only gonna be like like 20 of them, maybe. So no, it'd be fix the number in my head before I fix this. It'd be like 60 out of 100 out of 300 people. And that's not even count because when the top 20%, half of it is women. So it's a 10% times the three. It's literally, yeah, like I said, it would be maybe 35 men that make over $80,000 a year in the club of 300 people. And guess what? When we go to the club, what's the difference between men and women? There's like 4 women in there per one man. And another thing to explain to you as a black woman is that your age when you go up takes away some men out of your dating pool because you're going to be looking for a man that is your age or plus. And then when you take away, and then when you add on your social economic status, you take away from your pool too because you're wanting someone that makes money just like you or more. So if you end up in the 30% of makers, you're making like $60,000 plus. Guess what? There's only 30% of the whole goddamn United States to pick from. 30%, like 20% of earners make 80,000 plus. Guess what? That's 20% of the United States to look for. If you want someone higher. And then for the people that are like, oh, I want a 6-figure earner, you want someone in the top 10% of earners in America. All of them. So you're going to take the 10% spread between